Hey friends and family, my name is Tina Blount and I'm the director of the Arise Coaching and Counseling Center. I want to welcome you to the Center's YouTube channel, where we will introduce you to amazing content that will provide you with resources to give you direction for life and allow you to heal from the wounds of life. Now, in addition to being the director of the center, I also serve as a life and career coach. And I don't know about you, but there have been seasons and reasons in my own life where I needed to increase my income. And that's where a side hustle comes in. In today's workshop, I'm going to share with you over 50 ways that you can increase your income in only 10 hours a week. Are you interested? Let's go.
Okay, well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for taking time out of your morning to be with us today. Super excited to share with you some side hustle strategies. We live in a world right now that is expensive. It's more expensive than it has been in a very long time. And gas prices, mortgage prices, rental prices, inflation, grocery prices, you name it, it's more expensive. And there's only two ways to really navigate that. We can either cut costs or we can increase our income. And several months ago, I did a workshop specifically designed to help individuals navigate the budgeting process. And so in that process, the topic of side hustle strategies came up. And many of you who were on that call said, goodness, I would love to learn more about this. And so that's why we're here today. So if we have not had the privilege of meeting, my name is Tina Blount. I serve as the community pastor at Arise Church, but we are presenting this from the Arise Coaching and Counseling Center, where I also serve as the director of the center, as well as one of the coaches on the team. And so it's with a background of 20 years. I know I'm incredibly young looking, 20 years in corporate HR and job coaching, that I have helped individuals develop side hustle strategies for themselves. And so that's why they're bringing this with you again today. Again, if you're just logging on, this is being recorded. If you have questions, feel free to chat them in or save them till the very end. I'll make sure that there's plenty of time to be able to go through them together. But let's go ahead and dig right in. So first of all, what is a side hustle, right? Anybody. It's a term that is being used at the moment, kind of worldwide. You've probably heard lots of people use it, and you may have wondered, what on earth is that? Well, a side hustle is anything, any type of work that provides supplemental income to a person's full-time job. So this is not a job strategy, though for many people, their side hustle can become a full-time job. This is supplemental. It's something you do in addition to what you do on a regular basis. And so when you think about a side hustle, it's important to think about why you might need one, why you might even want to consider it. Well, it might meet a short-term need. Okay, so you don't want, to take on another job or work two jobs long term, but maybe you want to pay off a debt. Maybe you want to save for Christmas. Maybe you are doing the whole Dave Ramsey strategy of, I am going to save for it before I buy it. Tony Parker, I'm sure you would fully agree with that as our coach, our financial coach on our coaching and counseling team. So maybe you're saving for new furniture. Maybe you're saving for a vacation. So it's really going to meet that short-term need. The second reason you might need or want one is that you want to monetize a hobby. So you have a hobby, something that you're doing that you just love to do, and there seems to be a bit of a demand for it. Somebody says to you, could you do that for me? And so now you monetize it and you turn it into something that can bring in another income for you. You might also want one as the start of an entrepreneurial business. And so for some, they just want to monetize a hobby. They just want to recoup their cost, right? So maybe you are baking and you just want to recoup the cost of the products that you are putting in and the tools that you need to bake a cake, cupcakes, cookies, whatever it is you're making for someone. But others of you want to take that a step further. You are on a mission to launch an entrepreneurial business. And so one of the ways you do that is by starting a side hustle while you still have a day job, so that you have that security at the same time. Now, there might be other reasons that you might want a side hustle. And if you have a moment, go ahead and chat in some of those reasons that you might want a side hustle strategy, something that says, hey, this is what I am looking about. I heard someone talk to me recently that says, I'm in between jobs and I am collecting unemployment, but I need to supplement that income because it's just not enough. Or maybe I'm an entrepreneur and business is down in this season and I'm not ready to walk away from that yet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take on a side hustle. So there's lots of reasons for why you might want a side hustle. And again, you're welcome to chat some of those thoughts in. Okay, so what I want to do for the next few minutes is I want to give you 50 ideas where you can identify 1, 2, or 3 different areas where you might want to explore how to increase your income to reach your personal goals. And so let's go ahead and dig right in here. Well, one of the areas that is really growing, and certainly the pandemic was a catalyst for this, is home-based virtual businesses. Home-based virtual businesses. And so what do I mean by that? Well, anything that you do virtually in the home. You're getting the job done, but you don't have to be in a storefront. You don't have to be in an office. You don't have to be at a physical location. Qualifies as a home-based virtual business. And again, today is to give you ideas. It's to get those creative juices flowing. I don't have the time in this session to unpack every one of these in extreme detail, but we can certainly talk about ways to expand upon this in the future. So one of the things that is very much needed is transcribing audio. It's the ability to receive a download from an employer and literally transcribe it. So this is something that can be done in your home, on your own time, in front of a computer or laptop. And let me just say that that's one of the things that differentiates a side hustle from a part-time job. A part-time job is something that you have to go and clock into, right? Let's say I'm going to work at Starbucks in the evening as a barista. Thanks for those of you who are just logging on. I invite you to go ahead and mute yourself as you're coming in. So it's different. You're not clocking in, you're doing it on your own time. So transcribing audio. And if you're not familiar with this website, I'm going to talk about it a lot today. And so I encourage you to. Sorry about that. I think I muted myself and I think I'm back now. To get familiar with this particular website, it's called Upwork.com. www.upwork.com. It is a website that allows different organizations who are looking for people just like you who are looking for short-term or shorter-term projects. And on Upwork, there are all different types of jobs that are available out there. I do resume coaching, and so that's one of my side hustles. I do it now through the Coaching and Counseling Center, but prior to that, I did that through Upwork. And so you would go out and you would find positions you were interested in, you would create a profile, and then you would submit yourself to them to see if they were interested in you. Another option is virtual concierge. This is a big one right now. Virtual concierge can be everything from I need somebody to find me tickets to the movie, to find me an airplane flight that I'm interested in, to someone who can do online activities for me. It's a virtual concierge. Think about if you would go to a hotel And you would say to them, can you get me tickets to tonight's show? Can you find me the best deals on a flight or a rental car? This is a virtual concierge, and you will find many of these type of short-term and longer-term opportunities on Indeed.com. The other one right now that's just making a huge move at the moment is being a virtual assistant. A virtual assistant is someone who really kind of does virtual concierge and then some. So that person could be the person that's checking your email. That person could be the person that's scheduling meetings for you. That person could be the person that's doing QuickBooks. A virtual concierge is being somebody's assistant. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can find those opportunities. Certainly, you can find them on Upwork. That's an option for you. But you can also go to flexjobs.com, flexjobs.com and thumbtack.com. Both of those are also opportunities where individuals can say, I have a skill that I am willing to offer in exchange for monies. And so those are two websites where you can go online and learn about becoming a virtual assistant. The other one that is really fun right now, especially if you're really good at social media, is social media marketing. Literally somebody who is responsible for the social media strategy and posting of social media for a business or person. So if you, let's say, would work for an influencer or an organization. And so in our office, we have somebody who does this, Bree. Some of you might know her. She does that for Arise. But many people are looking for individuals anywhere between 3 and 5 hours a week, sometimes more, to manage their social media. Well, here's another virtual business. Rent out a room at Airbnb. Do you have a room in your home with a bathroom that would be private to them that you could rent out and make a stream of income? Long weekends? Do you have a guest room? Do you have a pool home? Do you have something along that line that you could rent out a room in your home? Here's another one, freelance graphic designer. Do you have graphic skills? Can you make Canva templates? Can you make great PowerPoints? I don't make my own PowerPoints. Debbie Youngblood, who is our assistant at the office, makes my PowerPoint. But if I were working as a coach independently, I would work with someone to create my graphic design. And so again, there's a couple of different ways that you can identify how to put yourself out there if this is a skill that you have. Upwork, as we talked about earlier, is one of those options. Another one being used for graphic design is Fiverr. Yes, I do mean 2 R's there at the end, Fiverr.com. So that's another website where you can go and explore home virtual based businesses. Okay. So what if you don't want to use your home necessarily, or you feel like, gosh, I don't really have skills in that particular area? What's another option you have? Well, if you're not going to use the virtual atmosphere, what about using your car? Now, we're all familiar with Uber, right? We're all familiar with Uber ride sharing as a form of income. That is one option, and they are quick to pay individuals. And so that is an option for you. But did you know that there is actually an organization that transports, that helps people transport kids to school? And one of the websites, there are many of them, but one of the websites is at KengoApp.co. It's transporting kids to school, which means you're up early. You're taking their children to school early in the morning. So usually 7 a.m. Sometimes it's picking them up at the end of the day and bringing them home. Just this week, somebody reached out to me and said, do you know anybody who would be willing to drive my children to school? I live in the Winthrop area. They go to school in the Fishhawk area, who would pick them up and bring them back 2 days a week. That can be a form of using your car. Here's another one, transporting pets. There are people who need pets transported. And so let's assume I'm going to buy a puppy in Fort Myers and I need to get that puppy to me. So transporting pets is another option that you can do. Citizen Shipper is one of the ways. That's the website that you can go to learn about that. Maybe you are just great at running errands for other people. Maybe you're just like, I'll go to the bank for you. I'll drop off the dry cleaning for you. I'll, run and pick up your prescriptions. I've got your errands for you. Well, a great website to learn about those types of opportunities is Postmates.com. Now, let me say, some of you're going to be able to find these on multiple websites. You're going to be able to find them on Thumbtack. You're going to be able to find them at sometimes on Indeed, but you're going to be able to find these on other websites. And so you can always just Google running errands for people, jobs running errands, but Postmates is one of the more popular websites that connects people to do that. What about grocery shopping for other people? Are some of you like those people who are like, listen, I manage the grocery store like a boss. That's my thing. That's what I do. Grocery shopping is an option for you. So Shipt.com is a particular organization that I use, that I work with. I don't shop for them, but I am on the receiving end of those services. And what's great is that Shipt has added a option to where if I really like somebody who does shopping for me, or I like the way they're communicating with me, or they leave me a little thank you note that says, let me thank you, I can request them again, and I can choose to tip them significantly above and beyond what I would just the average person who's providing regular service. The other thing you can do, and this is becoming more popular right now, is you can rent out your car. Now, I know that might send hair standing up on the back of some of your necks going, yeah, no, that's not an option. But let me tell you, for the millennial age, they are doing it all the time. If they're at school and they have a car and there's 2 days a week that they don't need it, they are renting it out to another student. So your car can become a money source for you to be able to share with individuals how to go ahead and make money using your car. Okay. If you don't want to work a virtual business and you don't want to use your car, another option you have is giving your opinion. Now, this takes time, and it does take time sitting typically in front of a computer, but you can certainly do it sitting in front of a phone as well. And one of those things you can do is you can take surveys online. There are lots of companies that will pay you for your opinion. So there's two that I recommend that you want to take a look at. One is paidviewpoint.com. The other is respondent.io. Go to both of those websites and take a look. Is it worth your time and money to make money? Some of us spend an hour watching TV on an evening. And we're not really engaged. We're kind of scrolling on our phones at the exact same time as we're watching TV, or we're sitting somewhere waiting for our kids and we're just kind of hanging out or maybe reading a book. This is a great way to make a passive income when you have downtime. So take a look as that as a possibility for you. Here's another one. Companies want feedback on new product development. As they're developing products, they will want feedback on that product. And sometimes they will literally send you products for you to be able to review and say, okay, I like this brand of mac and cheese, but I don't like that brand of mac and cheese. And so one of the ways you can do that is at maven.co. There's lots of other organizations out there, but maven.co is one of the organizations that will allow you to give them feedback. If you're one of those people who are like, okay, I always have an opinion on the new thing that they're coming out with, this would be a really good resource for you. Here's another one. Some of you really like to collaborate with other people. And so believe it or not, there are ways for you to make money in focus groups. Frontier does this on a regular basis. Spectrum does this on a regular basis. You literally can find a focus group where you can show up and give 2 to 3 hours of your time to be able to communicate your thoughts. It's collaborative, you're with other people, and you make money. I have friends that back when Frontier was Verizon, if you remember the Verizon days, I had a friend who received a phone call who was invited to be a part of a paid focus group. They were going to be paid $100 to show up for 3 hours of their time in a focus group. Well, obviously, with the next part of the story, I'm going to tell you doesn't happen for everybody, but in that focus group, Verizon was looking for families to actually put in commercials. And they ended up flying this family out of that focus group to New York City. They were in commercials. I saw them myself on television. They were paid a significant amount of money, plus all expenses paid. So I'm not telling you that every focus group will lead to something like that, but you never know what it can lead to. So think about a focus group if you have the time to do that. Here's another one is Google Opinion Awards. Google Opinion Awards is another way to be able to give your thoughts out there. Just go to googleopinionawards.com. That's an option for you there as well. And last but not least in this particular category is secret shoppers. Secret shoppers are hired by companies to go in and do exactly what you think we're talking about, to go in and shop the organization. And it can be as simple as I'm going to eat in a restaurant. I'm going to go in and see what kind of customer service experience I have at this location. And so the way that typically works is that you are given an assignment, you go in and make a purchase or just look around and browse, and then you come back and you fill out a report on your experience. I have a friend who runs this kind of company for the hospitality industry, and they're super cool. They actually send people on trips to Cancun, to Las Vegas, to all different kinds of places around North America to gain feedback for the company. So secretshopper.com is one of the websites where you can learn about doing that. If you're a shopper and you have a critical eye, this might be a great resource for you. Okay, what about your phone? Is it possible that you could use your phone to make money? Well, I want to tell you that it is absolutely possible to be able to do that. And one of the new tools that I wasn't aware of is that you can sell your cell phone photos on an app called FOAP, FOAP. It's actually on my phone right now. I'm clicking it and going to it right now on my phone. And so what you can do is you can literally get into contests where you are taking photos of what they're saying companies are looking for right now. And or you can simply take a photo and post it on FOAP. And if the company likes what you have based upon what they're looking for, they will pay you. So here is one right now. I'm not sure that you can actually see this. I'm going to hold it up. See if we do here. Do you see that eyeball right there? Nod at me. Give me a thumbs up if you actually see that. I'm holding that up for you. Thank you for that. All right. That eyeball won somebody $250 this week. They simply had a company that said they were looking for pictures of eyeballs, right? It is a optometrist. And so you get paid based upon cell phones. So if you're anything like me, I am always snapping photos. And so I just go out here, I take a look at, okay, what are they looking for this week? I'm not going out of my way to take those photos, but if I come across it, I go ahead and do it. Another thing you can do is you can test apps, on your smartphone. Craigslist is one of the ways that you can find jobs. Programmers are constantly developing new apps, and they're looking for people who are willing to test the app to get all of the bugs out. And so that's an option for you. Craigslist is one option. Thumbtack is one option. Indeed is one option. Google it. There's lots of options out there. You can also be a home-based call center rep. Now, most of those individuals are not going to want you to use a cell phone. They're going to want you to have a good old-fashioned landline. But you can be a call center rep, and you can actually take phone calls, on insurance, on warranty services, on different things that allow you to be at home using your phone to support people. One resource there is at liveops.com. That's a website that you can actually check that out. Another one is booking hotel reservations. Marriott, Hilton regularly work with individuals in homes in order to book reservations for people. Great website for that is workingsolutions.com. So there's lots of them out there. You can find them in lots of places, but workingsolutions.com is an option. Okay, those are some thoughts on how to use your phone. But what if you like to teach? What if you're one of those people who you're like, okay, don't really want to use my home, don't really want to use my car, don't want to use my phone, but I love to teach. Well, there's lots of options out there available for teaching. One of the things that you can do is you can help foreign students learn English, and you don't have to be a certified teacher. You do not have to go to school to be a teacher to do that. I will tell you that most of these organizations are looking for a bachelor's degree. But aside from that, they will train you in how to teach students English. Each organization has a little bit of a different requirement. One option is VIPkid.com. Some of you know Madonna McAnulty. Madonna is a teacher, but she also works on the side helping students in China learn the English language. But maybe that's not your thing, but maybe you have something else you bring to the table. Maybe you can play the guitar, and not only can you play the guitar or the piano or the violin, but you can teach it. Well, you can teach music, you can teach computer skills, you can teach academics online. There are people who will pay you to teach them the things that they want to learn. So a great website there is takelessons.com. Again, for all of these, there are many, many more, but that is one that you can offer, takelessons.com. Here's another one. Maybe it's not music, computer skills, or academics, but you've just got something else that you want to share. Well, you can create and teach an online program. You can create a program. I have seen people create programs on how to make the best chocolate chip cookies ever. You might be really good with cosmetics and you're like, this is how you paint your face. It might be, this is how you put together a great budget. It could be, this is how you study your Bible. It could be any number of things that you want to teach, but think about creating and teaching an online program. I know it sounds a little bit daunting, but it's really not as hard as it sounds. And there's two great organizations for you to check out. One is udemy.com. The other is skillshare.com. So is there something that you're knowledgeable in? This is how you make your bathroom sparkling, right? Think out of the box here. Don't limit it. If your friends come to you and say, how do you do that? You may have an online program that could make you money in the form of a side hustle and help people at the same time. Okay, what if that's not your thing either, but you can sell things? Maybe that's something you can do. So most of us, not all of us, but many of us have more clothes in our closets than we can possibly wear in the course of a month. We picked it up on sale, the tags are still hanging on it, and we're not using it. Or we buy those shoes and we think, oh, I think I'm going to love them, but we wear them once and they gave us blisters, and so we stuck them in the back of the closet. Well, one of the things you can do is sell gently used clothes on Poshmark.com. They don't have to be new. It can be gently used. So you just go to Poshmark.com, you can post it and sell those used clothes. Here's another option. You can sell household items. Let me go back just a moment. Let's go back to used clothes for a second. The other thing you can do if you're looking for something more local and you're not really looking for the online version of this, you can actually work with a consignment shop. Most consignment shops will pay you a percentage based upon the clothes you take to them. So there was one that I would go into every single month, and I could choose to either get a credit so that I could purchase other things, and or I could get monies. And so regularly, and I mean regularly, I would go in and earn $50 a month. Well, $50 a month doesn't sound like a lot, but if you take 50 months, let's say, even if you do it 10 months, right? You are going to walk out of there with $500 at the end of the year. It's another stream of income for you. Let's go back to selling household items. And these are not just your household items. These can be items that you pick up and that you fix up and then you turn around and sell. This is a big thing that's happening right now. Going to a thrift store and picking up something that's gently used, you fixing it up and turning around and selling it. eBay, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. This is another way to make income right now. You can also sell books on Amazon. And I don't just mean books that you're writing, although that's certainly an option, but you can purchase books in good condition and then sell them on Amazon. A lot of people do this in sets. So they'll put a little collection together. Do you like things from Stephen King? I hope not. He's a horror guy, but if you do, no judgment here, right? You've got a collection of his books. Maybe you like Francine Rivers, who is a Christian fiction author. You put those books together. Maybe you've got a select group of business books that you want to put together and you sell them as a package. You pick them up in good condition, you turn around and you package them and put that out there. Here's another thing is you can sell products that you're interested in. Are there organizations that are products that you use personally that you're always telling people about? You're like, oh, I have the best lipstick for you. I have the best tools for you ever. This is the best kitchen knife you're ever going to experience. Oh, do you have a headache? Here's an essential oil for you. Are you feeling tired and run down? Here's a nutritional supplement. Look for a product that you're already passionate about. Don't go out and try to find a product that you're passionate about. Look for a product that you're already passionate about and sell those. That's another stream of income that you could bring in. Okay, some of you have skills, and by skills, I'm talking about cooking, baking, and gardening. You have skills in the kitchen and outdoor kind of environment. You can do a number of things. You can sell homemade breads. You can sell homemade sweets. You can sell homemade jams. I have a very good friend. She actually used to work at Arise many years ago, who made cakes. That was her specialty. She made cakes. She made cupcakes. And she gave one to a friend. And the friend said, oh my goodness, this is delicious. Everybody at that party was asking, who made this cake? Well, she made an entire business out of selling breads, sweets, and jams. What was really funny about it is that she was training to be a personal trainer, but she earned her degree in personal training by making cake. I just find that comical that's how she did it, but that's an option. Can you sell produce from your garden? Maybe you're one of those people who have an incredible green thumb and you are somebody that you can grow fruits and vegetables and they're organic. Well, you can sell produce from your garden. You can start with your friend network. Start small. People will tell other people and it will catch on. This is another one that when I learned about this, it was a game changer for me. Right now, there are so many companies that are out there right now making pre-made meals and prep kits, and you can order them, Fresh Chef and those types of organizations. But what if they were local? What if you had a network of people that you were connected with and they paid you, I'm just giving you a random number here, $30 a week in order to be able to prep their food for them. So maybe you do the shopping for them and then you prep it, or maybe they do the shopping and have it sent to you and you do the prepping and you're good at it and you're organized at that. That's another great thing to do. We already talked about the birthday cakes and cupcakes, but basically if you can create it, Can you monetize it? Is there a demand for it? Are there people saying to you, hey, how do I get that you do? What does that look like? Herbs, whatever that is for you, take a look at that. Now, some of you are crafty. You are creative and you are crafty. So there's lots of options here in this particular field. We already talked a little bit about graphic arts, actually doing graphic arts for other people. But some people just like to create templates of things in graphic arts and then sell it. And for every download, you get paid. So selling your graphic arts could be a way to make money. Etsy is a great, great website for anyone who is looking to do anything crafty. Maybe you like making homemade jewelry, right? Maybe that's something that you enjoy doing. You like making beaded earrings, necklaces, bracelets. Homemade jewelry is another great thing you can do. Etsy is a great way to get started. Scented candles. I have a friend who does this. In fact, they now have a business down in Ybor City, but it started in their kitchen, at their kitchen table, making scented candles with just oils, which is the scented oils out there. That's a great thing. Maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you can knit. Maybe you can crochet. So maybe you're really good at baby blankets. Maybe you're really good at making hats and scarves. That's an option. Here's another one. Do you love photography? Are you great at taking pictures? Well, you can take pictures that you could ship to somebody, but you could also be like Heather Burtis, who attends Arise, who took great pictures for us at the women's retreat. And out of that has launched this incredible, beautiful business where she's taking back to school photos and fall photos and Christmas photos. So if you're into photography, how can you communicate that to your community? This is another one. People are getting married. People are having parties, and they're looking for people who have calligraphy skills to address their envelopes. People pay a price penny for that because they want it to be pretty when they send it out. So maybe you don't know how to do this, but you've got great handwriting. Well, pick up a calligraphy kit. You can pick them up for less than $20, train in how to do that, and then make yourself available. Upwork is continuously looking for those who write in calligraphy. Thumbtack, that's another option as well. And again, maybe you're just great at artwork or paintings or painting painted glass or doing some other things. This is another option. You can go on Etsy, craft fairs, use your creative and crafting skills in order to bring you a side hustle. Okay, some of you are creative in the area of writing. And so your words can be monetized to both help other people and bless you. So certainly you can write books. It's never been easier right now than to publish books online. Jim and Chris Beard actually teach a class on this at Arise. I believe they have a group that's coming back again in September. How do you write a book and how do you publish it online? You don't have to go through traditional publishing like you used to have to back in the day. You can do it right on Amazon or any other number of sites. Blogging. Maybe you're somebody who you have something to say, and you feel like you always have something to say about something. Well, blogging is a way that you can make money, and you don't make money by the blogging. You make money by the affiliate sales. So as you begin to get a following, companies will begin to notice that and say, hey, would you be willing to let us put an advertisement on your site? And every time someone clicks on it, you get a product. That's an option for you. Another option is freelance writing. This is a big area at the moment. Freelance writing, companies are looking for people who are knowledgeable in certain areas. And so they look for people. Do you have tourism experience? Do you have travel experience? Do you have familiarity with a particular product or a particular industry? Freelancer.com is a great website where you can learn more about freelance writing, and you're typically paid by the word or by the page. You can actually pick up assignments, you can bid on assignments. So that's another great option for you. Maybe you are a great resume writer. That's one of the things that I do given my corporate background. And so Upwork is one of the ways that I find clients and that clients find me. I post a profile on Upwork. They come to me for resume writing. In all of these, obviously, you need to be knowledgeable. You need to be cutting edge. You need to be on the trend, but that's an option for you. Some of you are great proofreaders. And so, for example, I work with a proofreader on my resume writing. I can write a resume really well. I can help individuals who may not know how to articulate and sell their giftings in a way that gets noticed by employers as well as applicant tracking systems. But I'm not so great at proofreading. I'm notorious for, flipping words and doing those kind of things. So I partner with a proofreader to help me with resume writing. So if you're great at details, you're great at grammar, you're great at spelling, you're great at, I don't know that this is saying what you want it to say, proofreading may be something that you could do. You can find opportunities again on Upwork and on Thumbtack. Those are just two options where you can help people. Okay, maybe none of those have interested you so far. So here's a few more. Maybe you just like helping people and you have some time on your hands and you are willing to trade rather your product for money, but your time for money. Well, here's one. You could be a companion for seniors. You could be someone who on a Friday evening goes and sits with the senior while their primary caregiver goes to dinner or goes to the movies. Maybe it's a Saturday morning. Maybe it's during the week while somebody's at work. GrannyNanny.com and care.com are great options if this is something that you feel like you might be interested in. You also might be interested in coaching. So I am a certified life coach. I'm a certified job coach, but you might be a nutrition coach. You might be a coach, a physical fitness coach. You might be coaching. That the world of coaching has expanded tremendously. Coaching is another area where you can help people and exchange your services for monies. What about pet walking? Do you have neighbors who have pets who need walked in the middle of the day? Do you have a flexible schedule that you could do pet walking in your neighborhood? What about babysitting? Could you babysit in your community? That's an option. Could you tutor? Do you have skills? Could you help a little person with their reading? Are you good at math? Could you help them with their math? Are you good at science? Could you help them with your science? So tutoring is another great way of making an income. Maybe you're a handyman. You are good, or a handy woman, and you are good with tools. Maybe this is an area that you could help somebody. I am a single woman, and I am about good with a hammer and a screwdriver. But if you look behind every picture that hangs on my walls, there's about 3 holes. The first one that I did it completely wrong, the second one that's closer, and the third one that I finally got it right. And so, goodness, if I knew somebody who could say, hey, Tina, do you need anything, 2 hours a month, 5 hours a month? I would personally put somebody under contract to come into my home and take care of things that I just don't feel comfortable taking care of myself. Can you trade those skills for someone who's in need? What about personal training at the gym? Does that happen to be your area? Do you have nutrition experience? Can you help somebody there? Maybe you're a good party planner. You're a good event planner. You're good at organizing things. Those are great options for you. Are you really detailed? Is your car the car that when people get in it, they're like, oh my goodness, it's so clean? Well, that might be an area for you. Lawn care, housekeeping, helping others by trading your service for what they either don't have skills for, or don't have time for. This is an option. If you have it and it can be a blessing to other people, it can be monetized and it can be marketed. Okay, So I took a picture of this out of a magazine. I tried to recreate it, and I'm just not that graphically savvy, and Debbie wasn't available. So I did what I do best, and I took a picture of it. And here's, I just think is really helpful. So how do you know where to go, right? I just gave you 53 options, I think. It was somewhere between 53 and 58. I've been playing with it the last week or so, but more than 50 options of what you could do. So where do you go from here? How do you find your ideal money? Well, ask yourself, are you crafty? If the answer to that is yes, well, then start coming down the areas of what your craft is. But if the answer is no, well, then ask yourself, do you have a special skill? The answer is yes. Well, then how can you exchange the knowledge of that special skill for money? But if the answer to that is no, I'm not good at that. Well, are you good at keeping people on track? Maybe you go to that home-based business. No, maybe I'm not good at that, but am I willing to use my car? So it's the process of going through and taking a look at what is in your hands. And I'll come back to that phrase in just a moment. So some people ask me, okay, Tina, sorry about that. Let's go back. How do I find time, right? Because let's face it, we're all time challenged. Most of us have full-time responsibilities. Many of us have families, extracurricular activities at church they're involved in. Here's what I recommend to people. Begin with 10 hours a week, just 10 hours a week. 10 hours a week, right? I'm going to say it again. Begin with 10 hours a week. Can you find 10 hours a week? And then allocate that. Here's what I mean by that. Every week, apply 2 hours of learning. Whatever it is you're doing, 2 hours of learning. So let's assume you want to drive for Uber. You get online and you begin to do the research. How do the Uber drivers who make the most money make their money? How do I offer services in my vehicle that enable it to be an amazing experience for individuals? How do I learn calligraphy so that I can sell that to another individual? Take 2 hours and allocate it to learning of that 10 hours. Take 3 hours that week of creating. You're going to create in those 3 hours a week. You're going to actually create your book project. You're going to create graphics to be able to sell. You're going to create ideas around what you can do to be able to market your knitting. You're going to take 2 hours of marketing. Now, sometimes that's not always needed because it picks up, but 2 hours of marketing, 2 hours of talking to people, 2 hours about telling people what you're doing, 2 hours about sending emails, 2 hours that you could be putting things on social media, 2 hours of marketing. And then at least 3 hours of earning, 3 hours where you're actually earning money that week. Now, you can mix this schedule up any way you want to, but I give this to you as a plan because most of us go, okay, I'm going to do this, but we don't know where to begin. We just don't know where to begin. So you have to plan your work and you have to schedule those hours on your calendar like you would any other commitment. So let's assume this is your weekly schedule. Let's assume you have a full-time job. You get off at 5 o'clock, you come home, you have dinner, all of those things. At 7 o'clock, people are now kind of getting about their bath and bedtime or whatever they're needing to do. Monday and Tuesday, you spend 7 to 9. 7 to 9, that's your block where you're working on your business. Maybe Wednesday you rest, but you go to midweek boost so that you get filled back up. You go to a group, you're plugged in. And so Wednesday night, you don't do anything. You focus on it Thursday, you focus on it Friday. Saturday morning, you get up and you spend 2 hours on it in the morning, and Sunday you take rest. Now, this is just a sample weekly schedule, but you could determine whatever it is that works for you. But you have to plan your work, and then you have to work your plan. And you have to stick to your schedule. Here's the deal. You're never going to find time, right? You're never going to find time. I find pennies on the ground. I find paper clips somewhere that they shouldn't be. I find dust bunnies everywhere, but I have never, ever found time. What I have done is I've made time. I have reprioritized my time and said, this is what I'm going to do with that time to move towards my priorities. I want you to think about this. What's in your hand right now? What's in your hand? What is it that God has given you in the form of an idea, a skill, a trade, a craft, the ability to communicate, a room, a car, a computer? What has God given you that you can use to work towards the goal that at the very beginning brought you to this workshop? So commit it to the Lord. Whatever you do, Colossians 3:23 says, work at it with all your heart, working for the Lord, not human masters. So I'll be honest with you, I am not a big fan of, hey, God, this is what I'm going to do. Will you bless this? I'm not a big fan of that. But I am a fan of responding to what I feel like God is already doing in me. And I say to him, Father, I don't want to go into debt, and I know that honors you, but I'd really like to have new furniture. And so, Father, I'm going to step out in faith and believe that I can work to receive it in such a way that it's honoring to you and it gets me the furniture I want. If you just want to be God and show up at my house with a rooms to go truck and walk me in furniture, praise God, hallelujah, I'll receive it and I will go right back to what I'm doing. But God, I'm going to commit this to you. I'm going to go to him and I'm going to say, God, what's in my hand? One of my favorite passages in scripture is the story of the woman who was deeply in debt. Her husband had passed away and her creditor was coming to take her 2 sons. And she went to the man of God and she said to the man of God, help me. And he said, what do you have in your house? And she said, I don't have anything. I just have a little bit of oil. And if you know the story, you know that he told her to go and collect jars from all of her neighbors. He told her, don't just collect a few, collect jars from all of your neighbors. And when she began to pour the oil, that little bit of oil, the oil kept flowing until she ran out. And he told her, now go sell the oil, pay your debts, and live on what's left. I think when we go to God and we say, God, here's the need, he will say to us, what do you have in your hand? What do you have in your house? Go sell your oil, pay what you need to pay, and then you can live on what's left. So I hope that inspires you to take a look at what's in your hand, what's in your home, what gifts and skills has God given you so that you can create not just a side hustle, but what I like to call a holy hustle, a hustle that is honoring of him. So let me close with this. As I shared with you, this workshop was presented by the Arise Coaching and Counseling Center. Several individuals have approached me recently that says, could you help me develop a side hustle? And so as a part of what we offer at the Arise Coaching and Counseling Center, here's what I would like to offer to you as well. You can coach with me or any of our coaches at $75 per individual session. A session is typically 1 hour long. You can also choose a coaching package specifically as it relates to this side topic, this side hustle topic, and it includes 3 sessions. It is discovery. So the first one is we're going to figure out what's in your hand, what's in your house, what's in your car, what skills do you have? How do we figure out what you do? The second is an implementation plan. The second session, we will figure out how do we implement this for you. The third one is a follow-up. Is it working? Is it not working? Why is it not working? How do we follow up and make sure that you are doing the very best you can with what you've been given? If that's at all of interest to you, you can simply go to this website right here, lifecoach.com. There's a blue button in the upper right-hand corner called Get Started. Obviously, this is also where you can schedule an appointment with any of our counselors or other coaches. And this is a resource available to you if you want to take it further. I will share with you that at the conclusion of this time together, I will be collectively putting a list together of all of the side hustles that I shared with you today, and I will be sending those out via email to you. They'll probably come out on Monday. So for those of you who felt like you couldn't take notes fast enough, don't worry, I've got you. We're going to send all of those out to you. So right now, I'd love to go ahead and bring our time to the close. We're right at the top of the hour. I want to just spend a few moments taking any questions that you have at all. You are welcome to take yourself off mute and ask a question and or chat in a question. Lori commented and said, lots of great ideas. Thank you. You're welcome. So glad many of you were able to grab some good ideas here. Thank you for the positive feedback. Does anybody have any questions at all?
Good morning, Pastor Tina. Michelle here. How are you?
Hi, Michelle.
So as many of you know, I do consignment on the side. That's kind of been my side hustle while I've been looking for full-time work, and with the move and everything else, it's just been a little complicated getting JJ back, back and forth to school. I'm actually contemplating about starting an eBay store. Do you have resources on where to get started with that?
So eBay actually has resources on how to get started with that. If you actually Google get started with eBay or start a store with eBay, there are YouTube videos that will teach you how to do that. There are great resources that's out there. They want you to have a store, and so they've gone to really good efforts to provide you the information you need. If it were me, because I'm a visual person, I would go first to YouTube and just literally type in start a store on eBay and watch those videos of people who are already doing it and doing it successfully.
Awesome. Thank you. This has been very
welcome.
informative. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Anyone else? I see a comment here. A couple of people have started eBay stores and doing drop shipping, so that's great. You're already working in that particular area. Somebody else, yep, absolutely, saying worked with Papa Pal. This one's great for companionship and helping the elderly. That's a beautiful idea. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're really either trading ideas for money, you're trading a product for money, or you're trading time for money. Those are the things you can do. But if there are ways for you to create once and sell multiple times, that's the best of all options. Okay, I'm going to give it just one more minute. I don't see any other questions come in. So I'm just going to say thank you, guys. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope this got those ideas stirring. If I can serve you in any way, don't hesitate to reach out. Otherwise, God bless you, and watch your email for these resources. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed watching that workshop and you learned a few ideas about how you can increase your income. If you would like help building your own side hustle strategy, I'd love to come alongside of you as your coach. To learn more, simply go to our website at myarisecoach.com and click the blue Get Started button in the upper right-hand corner to schedule a free consultation. And if you'd also like to stay in the know about new content being released here, feel free to subscribe and also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks so much for watching.